Good morning, Anchorage, Alaska, the lower 48, and the rest of the world. This is Bruce Lindquist with his podcast, Wonderful Counselor. Hey guys, how you doing today? As you know, we are on chapter 3 in the story that I wrote for Bella, an 11-year-old girl who we really love and who is our not biological grandchild, but she sees us as grandma and grandpa. So I wrote her this murder mystery, and like I said, we're on chapter 3. It's called Knocking on Death's Door. If you haven't heard the other two chapters, Humankind or A Mother's Nightmare, I encourage you to check those out. But we're going to go ahead and get started with the story. Kim, Bella's mom, had little patience with the police, asking her daughter all of these questions over and over and over again. She kept saying she didn't remember anything other than what she told them. Eventually, the police left, and Bella was still feeling some of the effects of the chloroform that the collector used to cause her to be unconscious. Bella knew your grounded for life conversation was going to happen with her mom, so once again, to get out of trouble, she said she wasn't feeling well, which wasn't a lie, and she needed to go to bed. She briefly said prayers with her mom and her sister Sadie, thanking God she was returned home and safe. When they had left the room, she got out her flashlight, got under her covers, and deciphered the cipher. Bella used the plain text code and the cipher code, and the substitutionary method, only one letter plus and one letter minus. She read the message out loud. This is your second warning, the collector. Bella wondered how many more warnings she gets, and how many of her 9 cat lives she's used up. These thoughts barely escaped her brain when a wave of nausea washed over her. Not like your typical flu, she was used to that, but she got so sick she barely made the bathroom before she emptied out her stomach contents. That was little consolation that she made it, because she couldn't quit throwing up. She called out to her mom, daring not to leave the bathroom. Her mom ran up the stairs, took one look at her, and knew something was very wrong. Bella was getting dehydrated quickly, looking very pale. Then she passed out on the bathroom floor. Bella's mom took her once again to the same emergency room she was released from just a few hours earlier. Bella was triaged by staff and was thought to have a bad case of the flu with some kind of infection. But since others were sicker than she was, she went to the back of the line. That changed, however, when Bella started throwing blood up on the floor. She was brought in, given an IV with anti-nausea medication of Zofran and a CBC panel for a blood workup. Bella described her symptoms to the ER physician, Dr. Frederick. I'm nauseous, really nauseous, tired, my muscles hurt. I feel like there's these little creatures that have somehow embedded themselves in my hands and feet, and they have sharp knives and they keep stabbing me repeatedly. Bella was not improving. In fact, she was getting worse, as the vomiting continued, but not blood red, since it had been clear from the IV fluids. Dr. Foreman walked into the room and said, "I just heard, Bella. Are you going to be okay?" she asked. Kim, Bella's mom, held her daughter's hand. Dr. Frederick said, "I don't understand this, but it looks like she's beginning early stages of organ failure." Bella's mom prayed with Bella, "Lord, we need a miracle." Dr. Patrick Fritz finished his lecture, was now in his rental car, which was packed, headed for the airport. He was looking forward to being home, back with his family in Detroit, Michigan. He was almost at the airport, but instead of turning in to drop off his rental car, he drove around the departure area, circled back towards town. He kept driving until he saw the hospital emergency room. He turned in and parked the car at the hospital. He had no idea why he was here, but as a Christian, he sensed the Holy Spirit saying, "Go in." Dr. Fritz requested to meet with the ER doc, and immediately Dr. Frederick came through the doors, which was a rarity. After all, there were so many sick people. Dr. Fritz inquired with the doctor if he had a 11-year-old girl that was sick and her conditioning was worsening. Dr. Frederick said, "Why, yes, she is close to knocking on death's door," and escorted him to where the patient was lying down. Dr. Fritz sniffed Bella's breath and asked her mom, "Has her daughter ate garlic lately?" Mom replied, "She had 2 pizzas a week ago." The doctor looked at the CBC panel. It identified low levels of heavy metals. "Run this blood test," he said to the doctor, and it confirmed the metal identified was thallium. Dr. Fritz instructed the doctors, "Give her more anti-medication for the nausea," which the nurse did, titrating the dose up. "Administer a series of doses of the antidote, which is a Persian blue pill for metal poisoning." The doctor watched and stayed with Bella as her 3 vitals steadied. She was no longer at death's door. "Now keep administering it 3 times a day," he instructed Dr. Fritz. Bella looked at the door. "Doctor, can I stop throwing up now?" Dr. Fritz shared, "For 12 to 24 more hours, you're going to be experiencing waves of nausea. But they won't be the tsunamis you've been experiencing. They'll be smaller, gentler waves." The doctor explained to Dr. Frederick and all that were in attendance, the medication will keep the poisoning from circulating through her body, and then she will be able to expel it. Bella rested and woke up to the doctor and her mom praying over her. Her mother said to Dr. Fritz, "Thank you for being an answer to our prayer." The doctor asked Bella to put her tongue out, and it was blue. She looked in the mirror and she thought it was cool to have a blue popsicle-colored tongue. "It's quite normal," said the doctor, "and when you have another bowel movement, it'll most likely be blue-colored as well." Bella was feeling exhausted. She tried to laugh, but everything hurt. Dr. Foreman asked Dr. Fritz, "How did Bella get metal poisoning?" Bella's mom, Kim, asked, "Could it have come from paint fumes?" The doctor said, "No. Normally you would see this coloring. There would be coloring on her hands where the metal was absorbed. That's how it enters the body, by touch." The doctor asked Bella what she was doing just before she started getting sick. Bella said, "Deciphering a cipher." Dr. Foreman said, "The cipher was found in Bella's mouth down her throat." "Do you have that cipher?" asked Dr. Fritz. And Bella said, "I put it in my jacket." The ink was tested and it was positive for thallium. Bella said, "You mean the killer put the cipher in my mouth to make me sick or kill me?" "It would seem so," said Dr. Fritz. "However, based on the amount, you would not have died, only wished you would have." Dr. Fritz informed Bella she would need to be hospitalized for 2 to 4 days. Bella asked if the sickening taste of garlic will go away, and the doctor assured her it would. "I don't ever want to taste garlic again," said Bella. "Yuck." Bella's mom asked Dr. Fritz about other symptoms that might show up later on. He shared, "She'll feel shaky, her balance will be off, that's another reason to stay in bed, so she doesn't fall. And I still feel the little people stabbing my hands and toes," said Bella. "That's nerve pain," said Dr. Fritz. "We'll be giving you medication for that through your IV." Dr. Fritz continued, "You may start to even lose some hair. It might even come out in clumps, but this will only be temporary. It'll grow back." Bella, for the first time, felt her curiosity almost killed the cat. The realization hit her hard. This was not just about trying to stop a killer. It was about surviving one who had turned his attention on her. The next 2 days, Bella was not up to company. By the 3rd day, Dr. Foreman visited Bella. She asked how she's holding up. "I'm tired," said Bella, "but the creatures with the knives seem to have left my hands and feet and moved into someone else's body." Bella added, "My stomach is settled. I'm still sporting a blue tongue," and she stuck it out at Dr. Foreman, and they both laughed. Bella said, "Since I'm not going anywhere soon, will you answer my questions now, Dr. Foreman?" The doctor reminded her to call her Carrie when it's just us. "Okay, Carrie," said Bella. "How about some answers, please?" Carrie reluctantly agreed. Bella summarized what she knew and formulated her questions from there. Okay, said Bella, stop me when I get this wrong. None of these women bodies have been recovered. The only trace of them is a shoe that's sent to the police. But because of me, we now know at least one woman is dead. Since this isn't his first time, when did you receive your first missing shoe? Many years ago, said Carrie. Any suspects? Asked Bella. Well, yes, quite a few, responded Carrie, but just before we arrested them, they were found dead. Some left goodbye notes. Others were shot escaping the police. The few that remained, they just disappeared. They might be dead as well, reflected Carrie. Well, said Bella, this rules out the dead suspects, because the killing continues. He looked into Bella's eyes. I received a cipher with the last shoe. It says he does not want to have to kill a young girl. Don't cause him to make an exception. Bella shared, matter-of-factly, I have no intention of dying. So the last time you found the shoe before Alaska was in Washington State, right? Asked Bella. That's true, said Carrie. Well, now he's here in Alaska. You must have seen a pattern, said Bella. He doesn't seem to stay in a place for long, maybe a month or so, and then he leaves. That seems to be his pattern, said Carrie. Have you done a psychological profile on the collector? Asked Bella. Why, yes, said Carrie. He's highly intelligent, very thorough. He doesn't leave a trace. He targets college-age women. None of the missing women are over 30 or under 21. I believe, said Carrie, he has a child trauma history, possibly being brutalized by his mom or sister. I believe he takes the shoe not for a trophy, but to take away the woman's power that he finds so dangerous. He seems to kill without remorse. His blood pressure more than likely remains constant, like he's cutting butter or killing a woman. I believe he's around the same age as the women he kills. That's why the sister causing his trauma seems most likely. He also is employed, and his job allows him to move as needed. He's well-to-do financially. He can travel around to different circles of people because he does have an engaging personality, which is a front to fool his prey. Wow, said Bella, that's quite a profile. I've been formulating it for quite a while, said Carrie. And now there is me, said Bella. Yes, said Carrie. He doesn't seem to know what to do with you, other than give you these warnings, with the last one almost killing you. As it turned out, Bella would have to stay in the hospital for a few more days, given the effects of the poison and her recovery time. That night, Bella felt the same adrenaline surge through her body, but she could not get up and run down the street, and eventually, in fits and starts, she fell asleep. Now Bella was in a vehicle, sitting on the passenger side, staring at the driver's side of the vehicle. She couldn't see a face of the driver. It was like the person was a shadow. She sensed, although she could see the shadow, it could not see her. It didn't seem to be aware of her presence at all. The driver turned into a parking lot, backed the vehicle up to a steel metal door which opened, and an automatic light turned on as they went inside the building, and then the door closed once the van was safely inside. The driver opened the van door and hauled out a black, large trash bag that would be used on construction sites. The shadow now wasn't a shadow at all. It was a person dressed in black. Its face remained in the shadows as it was wearing a hooded sweatshirt. In the garage was a large table, and attached to it was a conveyor belt with a metal sheet and also a shopping cart next to it. The hooded person put the trash bag in the morbid shopping cart, and Bella could hear it squeaking of the wheels as he pushed it over to the table. The person turned on the switch, and a metal door opened in front of the table. An incredible amount of heat was generated from the furnace. He put the bag on the conveyor belt, on the metal sheet, and dumped the contents on it with a sickening thud, which was a woman's body. Bella recognized it being the dead woman she saw next to the bicycle. The collector turned on the conveyor belt and watched the body slowly enter into the fire. To Bella's horror, the body moved. The woman was not dead. She was alive, probably drugged, thought Bella. The hooded figure watched the woman's hair catch on fire, stopped the conveyor belt to hear her scream as her head burnt and her face melted into the metal plate. The figure clicked the switch and watched the rest of her body burn, being consumed in the flames, until all was left was her ashes. Bella was straining her brain, but she could not see the collector's face. Bella watched the hooded figure turn off the furnace, and the steel door closed. He turned off the conveyor, and then got into the vehicle and drove out the door as it closed behind and locked. Then the lights went out. Bella was in the vehicle until it stopped. The person then got out of what looked like a van an independent business would use and got into another vehicle. It was a black luxury car. Bella followed, slipping into the car, and the collector drove to a downtown Anchorage underground parking lot of a major hotel. He looked directly at Bella, but she could not make out his face. It reminded her of when you're in a shower and it steams up the mirror. She wanted to wipe away the steam, but he got out. He walked across the parking lot to the elevator, and Bella quickly got in before it closed. She walked with the collector as he crossed the street, and then into the most expensive hotel in Anchorage, the Captain Cook. He went up the elevator to the top floor. Bella walked with him to his hotel room door and watched him go inside. She said to herself, "I need to memorize this room number," and she kept repeating it to herself as she rode down the elevator and then got into the parking lot and looked at the driver's plate. "I need to memorize that too," and she did. When Bella woke up, she had a small pen and paper on the hospital table. She wrote the room number, the hotel, the vehicle license number. "I got you," thought Bella triumphantly. Bella was going to call Dr. Foreman, but she showed up early to her room. She told her about the dream and that the killer used the crematorium to get rid of the bodies, but he tortures them with fire first. Further, she gave her the license plate number, the hotel room number. Now, Dr. Foreman trusted Bella, and she called the police officers to join her, and they drove to the hotel. They surrounded the room after receiving an order from the judge almost immediately, when had requested, due to the high-profile nature of the case and the pressure of the police and the mayor to solve it. Dr. Foreman pointed her gun ahead and motioned to the other officers, and the hotel room was searched, but no killer or any of his victims, like all the others. It was like he was not ever there. Dr. Foreman got a call from the other officers that they had found the car and dusted it for prints, but it was clean. Dr. Foreman and a few officers continued with the judge's permission to enter every crematorium in the city. They tested the carts Bella had described. No luck. They had only one left and saw the metal back door, and the owner opened it, and there was a cart, a table, and a metal sheet. She didn't expect, due to the body being cremated, any positive tests, but the table where the body had fell was positive for the missing woman. They DNA tested it, which confirmed it was the young college-age woman Ivy Henderson. They were so close, thought Dr. Foreman. How did the killer know they were coming? Dr. Foreman met with Bella and informed her of what they found. Bella laid back in bed. It just doesn't make sense, she thought. I'm missing something. And then she knew the answer. But because of the side effects of both the mental poisoning and the medication, Bella completely forgot and her mind went blank. Bella was so tired she slept through most of the day, and when she woke up the next morning, there, written on the white wall of her hospital, was a cipher in large black letters. Well, here we go again, thought Bella. But then she gulped, and terror gripped her bones like a vice. He knows I'm here. And that creature that was stabbing her feet with her hands previously now seemed to be in her mind, echoing in a mournful voice. He's not going to stop until I'm dead. Here are the series of ciphers. The key of using the cipher code is use the collector only for the substitutionary method. For the already identified letters. This will get you close to completing it. You'll have to figure out the rest of the words on your own. You will need to go back to the second chapter to get the information for the cipher code for the collector. Now here is your code of the cipher that was left on the hospital room wall. Dash VOO dash, or blank space. Blank space, blank space, blank space, OO. Blank space, LG. Next word, OVG. So it's a completed word using the collector for the cipher. So you'll be able to determine what that word is exactly. Next word, blank L blank. Next word, blank blank G VI blank VIV. Next word, blank blank GS. Next word, blank blank. Next word, LXOOVXG blank blank blank. Next line, blank L blank. Next word, blank O blank L blank G. Next word, blank blank V blank blank XL blank O blank S blank blank V. Next word, blank blank OOV blank blank L blank. Next line, blank G blank blank L blank G blank. Next word, blank blank blank. Next word, X blank I blank L blank blank. Next word, blank blank L blank G. Next word, blank L blank. Next word, GSV blank. Next word, blank L blank. Next word, blank VX blank blank V. Next word, blank. Next word, blank 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 XV. Next word, blank blank blank. Next line, blank L blank. Next word, blank L blank blank IV. Next word, blank. Next word, S blank 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 V I blank blank XV. Next line, blank 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 L blank. Next word, blank L. Next word, blank LG. Next word, blank GL blank. Next word, blank V blank I XS blank blank. Next word, blank LI. Next word, blank V. Next word, blank. Next word, blank OO. Next word, blank G blank I G blank blank OO blank blank blank. Next word, P blank IO blank. Next word, GSV, this is the next line, GSV blank I. Next word, blank OLL blank. Next word, blank, blank, OO. Next word, blank V. Next word, L blank. Next word, blank L blank I. Next word, S, blank, 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 blank. Next word, blank. Next word, S, blank, blank, O. Next word, blank, OIV, blank, blank, blank. Next word, blank G, blank I, blank G, V, blank. And then at the bottom is GSV, next word, XLOOVXG. I. So that is the cipher. I know it's a lot more complicated than the last one. You're really going to have to take some time to figure it out. So can you complete it before Bella does? Because I haven't given it to her yet. But I'm going to be giving it to her probably next week. So once Bella completes this cipher, then I'm going to move on to the next chapter. But maybe you can figure it out and let me know on my podcast before Bella does. So information about the next episode. So the title for the next episode, which would be chapter 4, is going to be the 5 suspects. So I'm going to give you guys some choices, some clues, trying to figure out who this collector is. And by these clues I'm going to give you, you're going to be able to, with Bella and Dr. Palmer, hopefully figure out who the collector is before he kills again. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.